All right, guys, we are back for another edition of How My Thinking Leads to Eating. But I'm hungry, Heather. I'm hungry. All right, so I have had many clients, and you might really resonate with this, that they have eaten a full day of food, maybe in the upwards of even 2,000 calories. They are hitting their protein markers. They're eating their fruits and vegetables. But come after dinner, they find themselves back in the pantry, back in the kitchen, but they keep hearing the thought in their head, right? My thinking leads to eating. They hear the thought in my head saying, but you're hungry. Let's have something else. We're still hungry. And as a coach, one of the things that we need to do is to really unearth this. So if I look through somebody's food log and I see they're eating 3 squares a day, a couple snacks, they're having a small deficit, they're eating their protein, and as far as their physical needs go, they're being taken care of. Then what we do is we do the hunger test. We actually see if this is true, because our lower brain is really good, really good. It convinced me for years that tomorrow it would be different. I would be standing in the kitchen. Go ahead, Heather, have that extra piece of pie. Have all that ice cream. Tomorrow, Heather, will be different. And I would listen to this voice and I 100% believed it, because my gosh, it was coming from my own head. So it had to be factual. It had to make logical sense. I didn't realize it was my lower brain operating the helm in that moment. So what happens for many of us, we're super busy at our jobs, running errands, taking care of the kids, doing all the things during the day. Most of us are extremely distracted and busy and preoccupied. So we kind of tune out our lower brain. So if you say, why do so many people struggle with nighttime eating? Why do so many people struggle with overeating after the kids go to bed and all this? It's because for the first time through the day, it's probably the first time you're just sitting there with nothing going on, and your lower brain kind of takes the focus, right? You can hear it more clearly. It shows up more because you're not figuring out other problems. You're not using your prefrontal cortex. You're not solving things for work and figuring out problems for the kids and getting dinner on the table. You're not as distracted. You're not using your thinking as much. So we tend to do more passive things, right? And we tend to just sit around and kind of recoup from the day. Well, that is a great platform for your lower brain to kind of come in, and it's a habitual pattern, right? So then at that nighttime after dinner, you might start to hear, hey, we're kind of hungry. Let's go see what's in the kitchen. Let's go see what's good. So the way that you test this to see, okay, is this real? Because sometimes many dieters have done extreme diets that are very low in calories, and that might be legit. I mean, you might legit be hungry. There were periods where I did those very restrictive diets, and I have no doubt by that point I was ravenous with legit hunger. But here's how you test it. You take a very neutral, bland, not disgusting, but just bland meal, and you put it together. So one of the ones I tell my coaching clients is, 3 to 4 ounces of chicken, breast cooked, you take a sweet potato, some steamed broccoli, and you make yourself a really nice filling plate of food. You leave it in the refrigerator, and you say, when you show up in the kitchen at 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, whatever it is, and you're hearing that voice say, hey, we're hungry. This is how you know. Okay, all right, we're hungry. We're gonna heat up that plate of food. If you hear anything that goes like this, well, I really had my heart set on something, cold, creamy, chocolatey, crunch. I need a little bit of crunch. I need a little bit of salt. If it goes anything like that, anything other than heck yeah, pop that plate in the microwave. Because when let's say I put you out in the middle of a forest for a few days, no food. I bring you back. That plate of food is going to look amazing. Your taste buds are even going to feel, it's going to taste different to you than if you're kind of ho-hum full. So that is the test. If you are on a very low calorie diet, you probably would scarf that plate of food down. If you're not, then you know it's not hunger, even though your lower brain's telling you that. It's actually more this habitual pattern. It's the every night we do this because we're sitting with those uncomfortable feelings. Again, go back and watch the earlier videos, right? every time you feel discomfort. And discomfort, by the way, can be boredom. It can be loneliness. It can be I'm regurgitating my day in my head and feeling kind of irritated about some of the things that happened or didn't happen. So all of these things, right, that we can have time to kind of like watch these movies in our head play out, they can bring on a lot of discomfort for us. So this eating is emotional eating, but in the way of relieving the discomfort, like what we've talked about before. So if you're not sure, if you're like, okay, Heather, I want to know, lower brain, you know, legit hunger, maybe I'm eating too little, maybe I am hungry, try the test. If that particular meal doesn't work for you, maybe just a nice bowl of oatmeal without all the, you know, toppings and chocolates and stuff. Just plain Jane. You want a plain Jane meal that's got your complex carb, your protein source, and some kind of vegetable. If the response is like, not what I was really in the mood for, then you definitely know lower brain is driving this. It's coming from discomfort. Now you have a couple options here. One, you could, knowing this, pre-package together a little something and just have it, and that be the thing. Or you can actually have some other activities planned for yourself when you show up in the kitchen and you say, you know, I'm going to take a 10-minute walk. I'm going to go work on my art project for 20 minutes. I'll see if I still want it then. You can put those distractions / time limits on yourself to kind of just, you know, get the ball rolling, but just know what it is and where it's coming from. That's huge. So many people really believe when they hear that voice say, oh, you're hungry, let's go see what's in the kitchen. They think it's true. I know I did. So just learning that wasn't, and that it was just that emotional hunger kicking in because I was feeling discomfort, you know, and it could be anything, right? So I hope this video helps, guys. I know this is something so many people struggle with, the idea of, but I'm hungry. Check and see if that's true. And it's funny, I had a client, this was her homework assignment, and she goes, Heather, I don't even need to make the plate. She says, that is absolutely not what I want at that time of night. She's like, I have certain foods that I gravitate towards that I look forward to. She says, I know it's 100% emotional eating. She didn't even have to do the actual physical practice. I have had clients do that though. So she knew even before that, and she goes, and I almost want to cry. And I said, no, don't cry. Know that this is helping you start to figure out why you can't lose weight, why it is that you keep falling into this repetitive cycle. If you don't learn the stuff about yourself and how you're thinking and all this other stuff, how are you going to fix it? So even just giving her a 10 or 20 minute timeout and going to do something else, knowing that that's what it is, that's a game changer. So just want to encourage you, every time you learn these new things about yourself, actually get excited, because if you want a different outcome, a different result, you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to change. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for checking in with me. Please like and subscribe and share these videos with anyone you think it would benefit. I will talk to you soon.